Hey guys, wanted to check in with you. Wanted to teach you guys some really cool stuff today. So, why mothers kiss their babies. So, outside of the obvious reason, with how cute and adorable and loving they are, there's actually a reason why mothers, and not just humans, but farm animals and dogs and cats and all kinds of animals all do this. And so it's really kind of cool. So you know that a newborn baby does not produce antibodies for several months after it's born. And so part of the wisdom of the body is there's what's called IgG antibodies, and those actually can cross the placenta. And so that's what a mom does before the baby is born, is it passes on part of her immunity to her child. Pretty amazing stuff, right? So it passes that on, and that kind of ties it over for a little bit. Then the other thing that happens is then when the mom breastfeeds, in the gut, you have what's called IgA antibodies. And so when a mom breastfeeds, she passes on these IgA antibodies, and so that helps with the lining of the gut. So that helps to prevent infections and things of that nature, or diarrhea, or other problems that can happen from the gut. But think about this. Wouldn't it be cool, a mom, so then we also have what's called an acquired immune system. And so as you have exposure to things, your body creates a memory to that. And so it knows how to fight those things off. And wouldn't it be cool if the mom could pass on her acquired immunity to her child? Well, the thing is a newborn is not going to come in, it's not going to need all of the things that a mom would maybe have exposure to. So say maybe the mom was exposed to Epstein-Barr, well, most likely a newborn's not going to be exposed to that and have to fight that off. And so instead of giving a bunch of useless antibodies that the baby doesn't need, then here's what's really cool. So the mom kisses the face of the baby, and in essence, she's sampling kind of what pathogens, what viruses, what bacteria, what's around the baby's face that's most likely going to be ingested. And you guys have what are called secondary lymphoid organs. And so, in essence, that's your tonsils. And so your tonsils basically sample what's on the baby's face, and then your body then goes into its memory cells and it produces the antibodies for what's on your baby's face, and then that goes to your breast milk and the baby gets what it needs. How amazing is that, right? How cool is that? That blows me away just to think about how the mom senses what the baby needs, produces it, and then passes it on to the baby. That is so cool. And so a couple questions that brings up, right? And when you go through all of this is then, one, you realize the purpose of vaccines is to produce antibodies. So if a child can't produce antibodies for the first few months of its life, then what sense does it make in giving a vaccine in the first few months, like a Hep B vaccine that they give before they leave the hospital? It's not going to be effective. It can't work. It really doesn't make any sense to do that. Two, so many times we're taught that there's organs that we don't need. We don't need tonsils. We don't need adenoids. We can get by without them. We don't need our gallbladder. All of these different things we don't need our appendix, right? These are all, just because they don't know what they do or they don't see the value of those, doesn't mean they're not necessary. I mean, certainly, absolutely, we need that. And so if you're having issues with tonsils or adenoids or gallbladder or whatever, you need to find out what are the triggers that are causing the problem, because they're all important. It's amazing to me as I study the immune response, in all the sciences that I've studied and all the different classes we've taken, I can't think of another subject where there's more theory than anything else. I mean, there is so much about your immune system that they have no idea how it works. And yet, they're going to come up with these magical vaccines that are going to cure everything, and they're going to bypass your innate immune system, and they're going to bypass the way the body normally works. And they don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're taking educated guesses, but it's all theory. It's not hard science. It's not all proven. And so just remember that. And the other important part is, again, how important breastfeeding is. Knowing that the mom picks up on what the baby needs is able to pass that on. Now, I know there's some women that struggle with breastfeeding, and not to make somebody feel bad, but it's just to emphasize, if you can do it, it's really, really important and beneficial to your baby to do that. But, all of this just, again, shows us how amazing our immune system is, and how well it can function. To think that it's going to struggle with a virus or a bacteria or a pathogen, whatever, the body's meant to do that. And it just, you've got to make sure that the body has the nutrients, that it has the tools to be able to function properly, to build what it needs. And then also just eliminating triggers, whether it's food allergies or stress in the spine or in the joints or toxins in the air, or just emotional stress, right? All of those things are things that are triggers that are break down your health. And those are things you can find out what they are. We can treat them and we can help you to stay healthy and active. So I just wanted to share some of this stuff. I love learning this. I love teaching this to you guys. I hope you enjoy this. Be sure and like and share our Liberty Chiropractic page, because I'm always going to have those things on there. We got a couple workshops coming up. We do free webinars. We have one is going to be on the thyroid on May 28th. So if you know, or if you have had any thyroid issues, autoimmune issues, hyperthyroid, any of those type of things, you got to hear this. Maybe the testing that you've had is incomplete. And so we're going to touch base on all of that and show you guys some amazing examples and teach you guys all about your thyroid on the 28th. And so we'll put up a link here in the next week or so so you guys can register for that. And then obviously next Tuesday, the 19th, we'll be doing an approach to inflammation workshop. So if you want to learn just more about the wellness way and learn about how to build health instead of trying to manipulate your immune system or manipulate your health. If you want to truly be healthy, we'll teach you all about that. So pretty amazing stuff. So be sure and like that, share that, and we appreciate you guys watching this and being part of us, and we'll talk to you soon.